into your low back just a bit as well. We're going to come into, after this last one each side, into an alternating pigeon step. So it's going to look very similar, but now that knee is going to come up towards that elbow, and we're going to swing that ankle through. So you'll pull the knee towards the same elbow, bring your ankle across, and then I just want you to go ahead and slide down into that pigeon pose. So that back leg's back behind you. You'll step up, we'll switch. So I'll show you from the other angle too. But just like you did with those runner's lunges, just holding that stretch for that 1-2, trying to square those hips, and then moving through that plank to come back to the other side. And really focusing on that straight leg hip, so trying to turn that hip and glute to face forward in front of you as you come into that stretch. We're going to go 2 more on each side here. And then last one, right, left. From here, we're going to go ahead and finish this last side, and then you're going to shift into that downward dog. You're going to hold for 20 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and bring it into that position, shift those hips up. Again, bend the knees if you need to. What we want is that tailbone shining up towards the sky, pulling those shoulders back and down, and giving yourself that mental cue of pushing the hands forward as you push those heels back and down. And if you want to take a second just to pedal out those hips, if your hamstrings are extra tight, you can take that moment here, or you can just hold that position. We're going to take 2 more big inhales and exhales, trying to get a little bit more length. From here, you're going to go ahead and roll straight down. So I'm just going to drop my knees down to the floor. I'm going to walk my hands slightly out in front of me, bring my big toes together, and we're just going to push into that child's pose, keeping our back neutral. So trying not to let the low back arch, and then releasing out of it. So we're, again, opening up the hips, opening up the back. Try to just sink straight back into that stretch. So notice if maybe you're overcompensating and leaning more towards one side, and try to auto-correct that more towards the center. The wider your knees, the more stretch you're going to get. So if you're not feeling much of a stretch, you can always take those knees out a little bit wider. And then really sinking that tailbone back behind you. We're going to get 1 more here. And then we're going to go ahead and shift from hip to hamstring. So all I'm going to have you do is you're going to be on all fours. You're going to come into that runner's lunge. So you'll step up with 1 foot. And then keeping your back and hips in alignment, you're going to sink forward first into your hip flexor stretch. So squeeze this back glute forward so you'll feel that nice big pull through the front of your quad. Let your knee come over your toes without losing that grounded heel here. And then staying close to the ground, you can walk and kick the foot. So now the toes up, sink back like this, or you can sink all the way down to the ground for more stretch to that hamstring. So we're just going to be alternating between those 2 angles. Again, I'll give you that side angle. We're going to go about 5 or 6 on this side. Nice big stretch to the hip. Stay low to the ground. Sink into that hamstring. The more you can flex this bottom foot, so toe towards your face, heel towards the ground, the more stretch through that hamstring. And then make sure those hips also drop down into that stretch. So you can kind of use your arms to help push you further into both of these. And then just taking your time between that transition. And if you don't feel comfortable with that full lunge, you just kick that leg out and you sink right here. That's totally fine too. We're going to get 1 more here. And then you're going to meet me at the bottom of this movement. And we're going to move those hips So you're gonna have this leg out in front of you. You're gonna bring your knee in. You're gonna lay it out to the side. And then you're gonna go ahead and straighten it back behind you. Pull that knee back up towards your center. Back out to the side. So what we're doing is we're just moving that hip through its full range of motion. We'll get one more. Forward, lay it out to the side, try to push it down as much as you can, and then swing it back into that position you had, that half pigeon. We'll go ahead and rock this leg up. Step your opposite leg out for me. Again, quick posture check, so make sure those hips are straight in alignment. Flex that glute forward, and then we're gonna go ahead and rock into this opposite side. Nice big hip flexor stretch. Work it backwards, drive the heel back, sink into that hip, flex that foot. Forward again, nice big stretch. Bring it back. Awesome. We're gonna go 3 more on this side. Going as slow as you need to. Slowly working that hamstring and hip through its full range. If you can, if your hamstring isn't too tight, make sure you're flexing that foot on that lower part. So toe comes toward your face, heel goes out and away from you. The other thing to be aware of is if your hips, again, are shifting straight back. So I want to make sure that I sink straight back and that I'm not coming at an angle. So I'm not shifting over to the right or the left as I sink back into it. We'll get this last one here. You're going to hold on the bottom again. And then we're going to move that hip through its full range. So you're going to go ahead and bring this knee in. We're going to slide it out to the side. Again, trying to close that gap, push it down, and then let it swing right back behind you. Pull that knee forward. Bring it back in front. Side. And back. And then last one, we'll bring it forward, side, and back. Go ahead and bring both legs out in front of you. We did a lying version of this the other day. This is, again, just working on those hips, the low back. I want you to wrap around the front of the knees. I want you to lift your chest up towards the sky and out in front of you. Really lifting and pulling the shoulders back and down so you're getting that little pressure in the front of your hips. From here, you're going to go ahead and slide your knees over to one side, keeping them disconnected so my back knee ends up by my front heel. I can hold this stretch, or if I feel comfortable, I can start to drive my hips off of the ground, squeeze for a nice hip opener here. Release back to the ground, shift those knees over to the opposite side. Again, that back heel and that knee are going to be almost in alignment. And then I'm going to squeeze those glutes forward. So 4 more here. If you don't feel comfortable with the squat up, what you can do instead is you can just reach forward, fold over the leg here, release out of it, and then switch sides. Either version is going to work. Just listening to your body, seeing what feels good. We're going to get these last ones here. We're going to go ahead and roll onto our back. We're almost done with this warm up, a little bit longer this morning, but we'll go ahead and pull the knee in towards the chest again, using our own body weight to kind of push into those muscles through the hip flexor. You can do a little circle if you want. You're going to wrap around the hamstring, and I want you to start kicking your leg out straight. Nice and controlled, pulling the toes towards your face, heel up towards the sky. 2 big inhales, big exhales. Slide the same side arm to the ground, bring that leg across your body for that supine twist. Breathing into that hip and low back. Holding again for those 2 big inhales and exhales. And then bringing that back through to go through that 2 more times. Knee to chest. Extend the stretch. Bring it across. Last time here. Bringing it in, extending up, and then last twist on this side. All right, go ahead and release. We're going to do the opposite side. Quick posture check, hips are in alignment, shoulders are relaxed. Whole spine is glued into the ground, and then we're going to begin to pull that knee in. Lift up into that hamstring. Plant that arm, swing it across. Release out of it, back through. Hugging the knee, lengthening the leg, bringing it across the body. And then last one here. And then we'll bring it across one last time. All right, bring your feet nice and close. We're gonna start with just some hip bridges. So we'll get into the workout here. No weights to start for the first few minutes. We're gonna start on the ground. We'll go ahead and work our way up. Oh, I hate this. Go away. Okay, so you got about 10 seconds. I want you to actually grab onto your heels or hold onto your heels as you push into the glute bridge, coming into this nice big back stretch as well. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna exhale up towards the ceiling, holding onto those heels. Inhale down to the floor. Again, we just spent a little bit of time on those hip flexors, so you will feel them feel a little bit more mobile. You may be able to feel like you're getting a little bit more range of motion through those glutes. That's awesome. Connect through those glutes and hamstrings, really squeeze and flex. We've got about 24 seconds left. We're going to take a couple variations here before we go ahead and stand up. And we're just really focusing on that whole backside. Those glutes, those hamstrings, low back, the core. All right, less than 10. We're going to go 2, 1, and time. You're going to go ahead and release one leg. So one leg is going to be long, or you can hold it up. You're going to go into a single leg glute bridge. So I'm first going to push up into my hip bridge. Then I'm going to release down. I'm going to bring this leg up. I'm going to roll up as high as I can to reach for that toe, come back into my hip bridge. So we'll go here, 2, 1, and go. So bring it up, set the hip down, engage the core to stabilize, to roll up towards the toe, roll back down, big hip bridge. Bring it down, roll it up. Nice and controlled. Already halfway. It's not a whole lot of volume on this set. Just keeping it slow and controlled. Focus on that range of motion. 10 seconds. All right, we're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Go ahead and rest. Reposition yourself if you need to. We're gonna hit the opposite side. Got about 10 seconds here. Again, check those hips, pull the belly button into the ground, lengthen that opposite leg. We'll go here in 2, 1, and go. Really focus on that range of motion through that single leg glute bridge. Seeing if we can get as high as we are getting with both legs on the ground. It's a little bit harder, but just keep trying to work through the top of that range. And then slowly rolling yourself up into the full flexion sit-up. Again, if you're only getting part of the way up, right here is fine. Yeah, 20 seconds. $15. All right, we're gonna go here, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Last one down here on the floor. You're gonna lift up into your hip bridge. You're gonna pull your knee, pointing the toe towards your chest for a hip bridge march. Then you're gonna go ahead and set the hips down. We'll come and do the opposite side. So we'll go here in 2, 1, and go. Relax the shoulders. Pull that knee using the core, keeping those hips high. Drop the hips, release back up. Opposite leg comes to pull. Again, going nice and controlled, focusing on not only lifting the hips up, but using the core to stabilize that knee drive. Really focusing on that intention through this movement, because this is one of those ones we can let momentum really steal from it. We can make it a whole lot easier if we're not focusing on actively flexing through it and holding those angles up. We're halfway here. Keep lifting those hips up, keep driving up as high as you can. We got about 10 seconds. All right, we're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Go ahead and roll down. Let's roll up. We're gonna start just alternating step back lunge. So we'll go 10 seconds. You won't need your weights. We will pick them up. But right now, this set, just kind of warm it up into those lunges. We'll go here in 2, 1, and go. So nice big step back. And then I want you to really focus. Try lifting that back toe up before you start to stand up out of that lunge. So that what you're doing is really calling on that front leg to power you out of it. So we're thinking of this as more of a step up, like I'm stepping up to a box, or maybe I'm stepping up the stairs. I'm trying to really push through this front hip and glute to bring myself back up into that standing position. We got 20 seconds left. Again, just seeing how much range we can get, how controlled we can be. 7 seconds here. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Go ahead and grab onto one dumbbell. You're gonna go one side this time. It's gonna go to your opposite side. So if it's in my right hand, my left arm is gonna be in front. I'm gonna come into that lunge. I'm gonna sink it back into that curtsy, okay? So we're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. I am gonna attempt to make this as fluid as I can, meaning I'm not gonna release this back foot to the ground if I can balance, and then switch into that separate angle. If you need that second to tap, find your center, feel free to take it. But just to make it a little bit harder, trying to only set that foot down when you're in either that lunge or that curtsy lunge. Really focused again on that front leg. We're just getting a couple variations on that angle. Breathing through it. 10 seconds here. We're gonna go here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Check out that leg if you need to. We're gonna do that same thing on the opposite side. So again, quick posture check, hips in alignment, core tight, shoulders back and down, chest up. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. Nice big lunge, find that center. Again, if I can, I'll keep this leg elevated. But if I need that second to find my balance, take it. More about control, range of motion here. Really focusing on pushing that glute to flexion as you stand up. 30 seconds. We're going to come into our first arm movement next. So we will give those legs a break. Really focus on generating that tension through these last few reps. 15 seconds here. All right. Last 10. We're going to go here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Grab onto your other dumbbell. We're going to go curl, press, and then into a side raise. So you'll go curl it, press it, bring it down, 90-degree angle into that lateral raise. We're going to go here in 2, 1, and go. So curl, press, drop them to 90, fly, release, drop down, curl again. Again, tall posture, glutes underneath us, ribs, hips stacked right on top of each other. Core always engaged and tight to help give us that fundamental power through our center. We got 25 seconds left. We're gonna come back into those shoulders. One more set, and then we will transition back into those legs. We got 15 seconds left. Curl, press, release, 90 degrees, elbow lift, release down, 7 seconds. Here we go, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, you're gonna give me single arm press. You're gonna go 15 seconds right, 15 seconds left, and then we're gonna go ahead and double it out, okay? So find a nice comfortable stance. Core is nice and tight. We're gonna go here, first side. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So working through that single arm. Whenever we go into just one side, unilateral, it does make the weight feel a little heavier. The other thing is it requires a lot more core. So I want to be very cognizant of my torso and my center and make sure I'm not starting to lean either way to help me lift that dumbbell, but instead keep it to one side, center. Go ahead and switch those arms, opposite arms pressing. Exhale up, inhale down, focusing on that full range of motion. You're gonna come into a double in 3, 2, 1. Finish it off here, all the way up, all the way down. 10 seconds. Core is tight, glutes are tucked underneath you. We're almost there. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Shake them out. Next movement, you're gonna keep that core. Again, tuck your glutes underneath you and pull your core. Roll those shoulders back and down. You're gonna take a wider base with your feet. You're gonna come into your Romanian. Once you're at the bottom, you're gonna shift your hips into a squat. You're gonna stand up out of it. So go ahead and join me. Nice big hip shift. Keeping the dumbbells close. Drop your hips, let your knees come forward. Engage those glutes to stand up. Stretch, drop, pull through. 30 seconds. Again, those glutes are our prime mover, so really focusing, just like we did with those glute bridges, on engaging them at the bottom of the movement to come back into flexion at the top. We got about 15 seconds here. We're gonna go into a little bit of balance work. Last 10, drop those hips, engage to drive up. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. One dumbbell. You're gonna go lunge into that single leg Romanian. So I'll have it here, same side. I'm gonna lunge first, find my balance, hinge on that hip, and then bring it back through, okay? We'll go here in 2, 1, and go. Don't worry about speed, really controlled. The foundation of this movement begins with your foot. So I really want you to overemphasize gripping into your shoe or the ground with your foot. And then just take your time. If you're really struggling with the balance this morning, don't be afraid to grab onto a chair or a wall, or step out of that lunge, bring that toe back behind you, and just use it there as a kickstand to help you balance. You have 20 seconds. Again, really trying to emphasize holding that tension through that front leg through this entire set. 7 seconds left. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. We're gonna switch sides. Resting here, you got about 10 seconds. Take a second to really grip into your shoe or the ground. Find your center. We'll go here in 2, 1, and go. Nice big lunge. Ground that foot. So what I mean by grounding it is I'm gonna take notice. Usually my foot will either roll out towards my pinky, and I'll lose that inside of my big toe and the inside of my heel around the arch, or your foot will concave inward and you'll lose the outside grip to your foot. So you want to notice which way you're losing your balance through your foot, and then put that overemphasis on the opposite side. So for me, I can see myself slightly rolling out. So I'm really going to dig my big toe and the inside of my heel into the ground to just create that stronger foundation through my foot to give me that balance to come into that hip hinge. We got 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, drop the dumbbells down. You're gonna give me a squat into a bear push-up. So you're gonna be here, you're gonna squat down, reach the arms out in front of you. You're gonna drop yourself down into that push-up, kick yourself up, come out of it, okay? So we're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. Full squat. Hands reach out in front of you, catch your weight, drop push-up, heels lift. Make sure your chest comes up before you release. If this is too hard, go ahead and elevate on your coffee table or your couch or something else just to help bring your ankles up, give you less range of motion to have to carry and deal with. All right, we got 15 seconds. If you start to feel comfortable, you may want to move a little bit faster. Let yourself sink into the push-up, using gravity to make it a little harder. Almost there. We're gonna go 3, 2, 1, and time. Release yourself up. We're gonna go ahead and grab onto that dumbbell again. This time, bringing those 2 movements together. You're gonna hinge. You're gonna come into that single arm row. So find your center, pull row, release out of it. Again, just working on that balance here. We'll go here in 2, 1, and go. This one's a little bit harder. So what you may need to do is grab onto something to help you balance. But remember to look out on the floor. Find a spot on the floor that you can focus your attention on. About a foot out in front of your gaze. And that'll really help stabilize your balance. The goal is to get this torso parallel to the ground before we pull into that row. You got 15 seconds. Don't worry about how many you get. Just nice and controlled. We're gonna go here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Release, shake that leg out. Switching to the opposite side. We're gonna get you going here in 3, 2, 1, and go. So again, find that spot, ground that foot, shift that hip back, pull row, engage to bring yourself back up. Nice big stretch, pull row, release, bring it back up. You can always use that back leg, set it into the ground, like you did on the previous set to help you balance. So if you do, it looks just like this. There's no weight, it's just there, toes in the ground, and then you're gonna pull and push through. We're almost there. Pull, squeeze, whoo, balance, and then release. We got about 15 seconds. Oh man, I am struggling. Last 10 here. All right, we're gonna go 2, 1, and time. We're gonna come into a weighted squat jump. So when you hold the dumbbell at your chest, you're gonna squat jump up, and then you're gonna land low and light. We're not going for speed, but more power. So really control yourself down, load that squat, jump up, catch yourself, take a second before you jump again. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. If you don't feel comfortable with the jump, you're gonna push up to your toes. Bring it down, jump, catch yourself light. Hold for a second. So what this does is actually makes it much harder and more explosive than if we were just going fast and we weren't taking the time to load into a proper squat. It's gonna activate more of our muscles. We wanna make sure we're actively squeezing. We got 15 seconds. Almost there. Last 10. All right, we're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake out those legs, take a little break. Meet me down on the ground. If you need to rearrange, feel free to readjust your angles, grab some water. We're gonna switch it up now. All right, so I'm gonna show you your first movement. You're gonna have one dumbbell. You're gonna Roll to the side, roll to the opposite side. Keeping that low back behind you, reach that dumbbell behind you. And then you're gonna chop right through your center. And then we're gonna go through that full variation again. So get yourself set up. Again, whenever we do core, we're gonna make sure our low back belly button is in the ground. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. So arms long. Right, left, glue that back into the ground, reach that dumbbell back behind you. Chop it through. Roll on down. Right, left, bring it back behind you. Chop through. Right, left, bring it behind you. Chop it through. We got 25. Right, left, big reach. Create that power. Use that momentum to come into that big sit-up. 10 seconds left. All right, we're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Set the dumbbell down for this next set. Bring your knee up into tabletop. Knee is stacked right on top of hip. Opposite leg is gonna hover right above the ground. You're gonna pulse it out. So I'm just gonna push through for half the time on each side. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. If you need to hold on to the neck, that's fine. Keep the low back glued. Small little crunch up. This bottom foot can also rest to the ground. And I'm gonna readjust my angle. I had my knee too far up. I wanna make sure that it's right on top of my hip to get the most out of this movement. You're gonna switch in about 10 seconds. I know you're feeling it, breathe through it. Give me a quick switch. Again, find that 90 degree right on top of your hip. Push back. 20 seconds left. Almost there. Last 10. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Shift over to your opposite hip. So you're gonna come into a side V-up. I'm gonna be resting on the meaty part of my glute. If I can, my legs are gonna go long. I'm gonna reach, the legs come straight up. My upper body comes to meet. If I need to shorten it, I bend at my knees, I lift at the knees. I'm still gonna come and crunch to meet it. So the legs don't bend in, instead they lift straight up. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. So big stretch, pull to flex. Release, pull, squeeze. If this is too hard, this is totally a great modification. All I did is took that bottom leg down to the ground. So I have less weight to have to lift. But you're feeling all this tension right here through this top oblique. And make sure you're on your glute, not on that hip bone. 15 seconds. Almost there. Last 10. All right. We're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Resting, finding that same position on your opposite hip. Again, forearm, meaty part of the glute, and then just lifting those legs either straight, bent, or just one. We're gonna go here in 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So I wanna reach into stretch, bring it in tight for flexion. Inhale, reach, exhale, squeeze. "30 seconds. Almost there. Really focusing on creating that tight crunch, bringing that rib down to that hip as I bring my upper body to meet those legs. Remember, the legs just lift up. My upper body is meeting the legs. We got 10 seconds. Almost there. All right, we're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Awesome. All right, you have 2 climbers into a pike push-up. So if you need to drop down to the knees, you totally can. It's gonna look like this. 1, 2, push up to those hips. This is gonna be the full, I'm gonna transition right into my push-up, or I'm gonna go up, drop my knees, keep that straight line, push up here, okay? Get yourself ready, we're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. So we go 1, 2, hips lift, drop down, flow into your push-up, release, 1, 2, lift up into those hips, fall down, push up. Keeping the core tight, working on that range of motion, big stretch up, pull those shoulders back and down, full push up, 1, 2, hips up, bring it down, push up. We got 10 seconds, almost there. Big reach, pull down. We're gonna go 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, sitting on your glutes, 2 dumbbells. Find that V position. We're leaning back as far as we can comfortably support with our core. You're gonna push right, left. So we're just gonna alternate that press, then we're gonna twist side to side. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. So it's right, push left, twist right, twist left. Right, left, twist, twist. Strong center, using your breath, focusing on that range of motion, all the way to a straight arm, all the way to straight, big rotational twist, 25 seconds, right, left, twist, twist, almost there, twist, twist, 15 seconds, right, left, twist, twist, we got 10, right, left, twist, twist, right, left, almost there, 2, 1, and time. All right, 1 dumbbell. You're gonna bring it to your chest. You're gonna give me a press at the bottom. This will lock the arms out, roll up to the top, bring it up above your head, roll back down, and then drop it back to the chest. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. So I'm pressing, that locks me up to straight. Starting to engage my core to roll up out of that sit up. Bring the dumbbell up above my head, roll down, curving my spine, keeping that dumbbell high. Push it down on my chest, exhale up, peeling up. Bring it above my head, roll back down. Really cognizant of what my back's doing. So the more I can curve that spine, the more flex my core is. So I'm really rounding in and out of that. Big press up, roll up. We got 10 seconds. Roll down. All right, we're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Single side cross body crunch. So opposite leg will just rest to the ground. You're gonna bring that knee to that elbow. We're gonna focus on one side for a full set. We'll focus on the opposite side for a full set. We're gonna get you going here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So I can make this easier by bringing the knee and the elbow together. So I'm consciously bringing them to center to meet together. If I want to make it harder, I'm going to pick my knee up, call on my torso to do about 80% of the work. So my knee's coming 20 to 30% of the way up, and my elbow is really covering the rest of the ground. That requires a little bit more core flexion, so it's a little bit harder. It's the same movement, and it looks very similar, but just giving yourself that cue of sitting up to meet the leg instead of letting the leg come to meet you in the center. You have about 10 seconds left. Exhale, roll up. Inhale back down. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. You're gonna find that same movement on the opposite side. We're gonna get you going here in 4, 3, 2, 1, and go again. I can meet in center if I need a break, if I'm really starting to fatigue, or I can bring it up, calm that core to do most of the work, to release me into that cross body. We don't only want to come up, but we want to reach that elbow to the outside of the knee. So it's 2 separate movements, the flex up and then across. Flexing up into crunch, reaching across. 30 seconds here. Focus on the tension. Go as slow and controlled as you need to. Just make it hard on yourself. We got 20 seconds left. 15. All right, last 10. We're gonna go here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. You're gonna give me a full sit up with a twist. So I'm gonna twist to the left for the first one, roll down, twist to the right for the next one. If you need to hook your feet underneath the couch or the coffee table for extra support, go ahead and do that real quick. If you don't have anything to hook under, you can also push your feet flat up against the wall. It's just gonna help stabilize the legs. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. So I'm gonna roll all the way up. Again, I'm getting that roll up, and then I'm adding just that little rotational movement to also fire those obliques. Bringing my elbow to the outside of that leg. We're almost done with the core today. Rolling down. Exhale back up. 20 seconds. We got 15. Last 10. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, last one. You're sitting up. Again, if you have that wall or that coffee table, this is a great one to lock your feet into because we're gonna keep the legs long and I'm gonna lean back. The further I lean back, the harder it is. My hands are gonna go on top of my shoulders and I'm just gonna rotate side to side, okay? Lots of oblique, lots of core strength. If you need to bend the knees, you can bend the knees to release some tension on those hip flexors. So go ahead and join me. Big rotation, take that elbow back, as far back as you can, side to side. 30 seconds here. If you want to make it harder, lean back more. Reach further back behind you. Make sure that core is engaged. We got 20 seconds. We got 15. All right, last 10 here. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, we're gonna pick up the tempo just a bit to finish today's workout. We're gonna go 4 minutes. You have 4 movements. I'm gonna show you what they are. We're gonna go 2 times through for 2 minutes total. So grab some water if you need it. Everything's gonna be down on the mat. So if you don't feel comfortable with the plank, you can do all of these elevated like this, planked up here as well, okay? So figure out if you're gonna do it from the ground or up elevated. Your first one's real simple. We're gonna do your regular mountain climber right here. Second one, we're gonna be doing that big hop. So you're gonna be here, you're gonna hop your feet to the outside, hop back. If that doesn't feel good, you can also step, kind of like we did with that warm up. Third one, we're gonna go cross body. So you're gonna be here, bringing the knees to the opposite elbow. So you're actually getting that little rotation through the hip. And then the last one we're gonna do is that ski jump. So I'm gonna hop side to side, or I can hop like this too, okay? Again, whatever feels good. This is gonna be all about tempo. It's gonna go really quick. We're gonna go 4 minutes. We'll get a quick stretch. And then you will have survived and you're all done, okay? So you got 10 seconds. Decide if you're gonna go up elevated or you're gonna stay on the ground. Again, it's a little harder on the ground. We're gonna start with that mountain climber. You're ready. We're going here in 2, 1, and go. So pulling those knees up towards the chest, right here. It's all about the foot speed. We got about 10 seconds left. It's the end of the workout right here. Really push it out. We're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. You're resting. We're coming into that hop. So you're either gonna step up or you're gonna hop towards your hands, making a nice big wide base in a deep squat position. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. So if I can, I'm hopping forward and back, using my core to launch those feet and landing nice and light. The quieter I can be, the better. The more control through my center. 2, One time, resting here. Oh, feeling the shoulders, feeling the core, getting the heart rate up. We're going cross body, mountain climber next. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go opposite knee, opposite elbow. So I want you really over-exaggerating that hip turn. Breathe through it, you can do it. We got 10 seconds. Almost there, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest, 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 rest. Heart rate starting to come up. We're jumping side to side or we're stepping side to side. We're gonna go here in 3, 2, 1, and go. So now we're right here. Trying to use the mat as a gauge of how far we're gonna jump. 10 seconds. Whew. Almost there. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. 2 minutes left. We gotta go one more time. We're gonna start with the mountain climber. Get ready. 2, 1. Let's go. Final little push right here. This is it. One more time with each of these. We got 10 seconds. Keep the core tight. Keep the hips low. 7. Keep going. Keep pumping. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Wiggle the arms. Okay. We're coming into those hops. Again, you can turn it into a step up if you need to. Let's do it. 2, 1, and go. So you're hopping in and out, staying light, pulling those legs up towards your hands, and then releasing out of it. 10 seconds. Got anything left? Really pick up the tempo here. We're almost done. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Cross-body mountain climbers. 2 movements left. 40 seconds of work. We're gonna go here in 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Twist those hips. Really open those hips up side to side. Reach those knees up. Quick feet. Almost there. We got this. 10 seconds. Breathe through it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, shake them out. One more, one more, one more. We got that hop. Don't be afraid to step it out. Keep the body moving. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go side to side. Find that steady tempo. Then low and light. 12 seconds. Let's go. 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Slow your breathing down. We're going to go ahead and finish out with just a couple stretches. I'm going to have you go ahead and find your child's pose. Let's get those shoulders because they just spent a lot of time working. So I want you to go ahead and take your big toes together, your feet out, or your knees out wide. And then for this first round, I just want you to keep your back long as you reach out in front of you, pretending like someone's pulling on the top of your head in front of you, lengthening yourself down towards the ground. Keeping that nice neutral spine for about 5 seconds, and then we'll release the head to the ground and let the shoulders round slightly, but just keep dropping into that stretch. Take a big inhale on your exhale. You're gonna let the head fall. You're gonna let yourself sink into the mat. So now we're not so concerned with the straight back. I'm actually gonna push into my palms and start to round and curve my spine up towards the ceiling for this nice big pull around my shoulders. And again, slowing that breathing down. I want you to take those palms and I want you to push your pinkies into the mat. So now I'm in the same position, but my palms are facing each other. And again, I'm going to push into those pinkies as I round my back up for this nice big pull through my lats. Last variation here, if you have the ability to, you're going to turn your palms up. Try to turn your thumbs down towards the ground. And then again, pull those shoulders up. If this is too intense on the shoulders, just back down into those pinkies. But if you can't, keep trying to open up those thumbs to the ground. Bring your hands back flat to the floor. Lift yourself up out of it. Bring yourself down into the floor. So nice and controlled. We're going to come into a half cobra. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my shoulders back and down. Bring my elbows back like they're going to touch. And then I'm going to take a big inhale. On my exhale, I'm going to lift my chest up. You may just be able to go this far. You may be able to get full extension. Let the hips drop. Keep pulling the shoulders back and down. And use this to kind of stretch out your core in the front of your hips. So you're pointing your toes. Your hips are up off of the mat, but you're trying to drop your belly button and round it down towards the ground for this nice big lengthening through your torso. Start to release your shoulders, bring yourself back down to the ground. Arms are going to go long out in front of you. We're going to find half scorpion. So I'm going to look over to one side. Whatever side I looked over to, I'm going to bring that foot over and just let it dangle there. Letting gravity pull open my hip. Release out of that. Look over to the opposite side. And then again, just let that hip be pulled open with the force of gravity as that leg drops. Go ahead and release to the center again, coming into a quad stretch. So you're laying flat on the ground here. You're going to bring one heel, grab onto your foot, and you're pulling it toward your heel. Push the knee and the glute down into the ground for this deeper stretch. Breathing into the front of the hip as you push that glute and that knee both into the floor as much as you can. Release that leg, same leg, take that knee out, parallel to your hip. And then 90-degree angle. Once you're in this position, you're going to try to slide your foot and your leg out so you can close this gap between you and the ground, between your hip and the ground. Keep turning that hip down just for this nice hip stretch, groin around the glute, possibly into the low back as well. Release that leg long. Find that quad stretch on the opposite side. Again, grab onto your foot. Pushing the knee and the glute down into the ground. Go ahead and release, open the knee to the side. Once you're parallel with your hip, do your best to slide that leg out wide so that you're almost laying that leg flat into the ground. So the whole entire thigh, the goal would be to lay it flat. There's going to be a gap there, but just giving yourself that cue to open up the hip a bit more. Go ahead and release there. Bring yourself back up. Last one here. We're going to take a big inhale. Arms go up above the head. Exhale, keep the back long, push into those hips so I don't roll over my back, I don't roll my shoulders. I'm going to reach out, push into my hips. Take another big inhale. On your exhale, grab onto your toes, your ankles, your calves. Let your shoulders roll back to start. And then as you're in connection with your toes, if you need to bend the knees, that's fine. Pull your back into straight. Pull your shoulders back and down, lift your chest up. Breathing in, we got 5, 4, 3, 2,